Hey, it's Ken from the Park Hill Auction Gallery and Resellers Network. I'm back with you once again. This week, we're going to have a conversation about how to start a reselling business online. A lot of people have been reaching out to us lately and asking us more and more questions about just how to get started in the resale business. A couple of the questions you might ask yourself are, am I going to sell brand new items? Or in our case, am I going to sell used items? If you're selling brand new items, then of course, you might want to become a manufacturer's rep, or you might want to tie yourself in with a distributor that offers you unique products that are brand new. You can do retail arbitrage. You can search for just new products when you're out thrifting, yard sailing. But in our case, for our conversation today, I'm going to talk primarily about used goods. Used goods are the items that we specialize in and that I'm most familiar with. You know, it's nice to think that you can pick a hobby or you can pick a product that you really enjoy selling, but if you can't source it and you can't come up with product, then you're not really going to make very much money. I find oftentimes I have to settle. Now, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't become an expert in certain categories, certain genres of merchandise. You really should be an expert in the product that you're selling, of course. But there is, however, a compromise. Compromise somewhere in between having a profitable, successful small business or eating beans and dogs over an open flame living underneath a bridge. In our business, we've been able to build a network of referrals and clients that give us repeat business. Being able to source and find product is typically not the problem in our case. Our biggest problem is being bottlenecked in the ability to sell the product, not so much to be able to source the product. Our phone rings every single day with people wanting to consign, bring us things, sell us things, to the point where we have to turn away more stuff than we actually take. And I think you'll find that once you've broken through into the resale business, that you'll probably find yourself being in the same shoes. I like coming down here to the warehouse on a Sunday morning after hours when it's not open to the public and I have no staff. It gives me an opportunity to be able to wander around through the aisles of the different inventory that we have and kind of get a better feel for just what's coming in and what's going out the door. So if you've navigated past the first step, which is finding product, then the next step is just what type of format are you going to use to sell your product? Are you going to be selling your products at a fixed price? We're using platforms like Facebook Marketplace or eBay Store. Are you going to be making your own website with your own URL? In my opinion, I don't really think there's any need to reinvent the wheel, but the pluses and minuses of selling things at a fixed price and not an auction is that you're going to sell a good deal of your merchandise, but you're not going to sell all of it. And you'll find that over a very short period of time, your shelves are going to start getting overstocked and your sell-through rate might not be as good as if you're doing an auction without reserve. The good thing about selling your merchandise in an auction platform is that you're going to have a lot more merchandise going in and out of your space, your warehouse, your storage facility, and your sell-through is going to be closer to 100%, whereas in a retail environment, your sell-through might be, on a monthly basis, might be 50%. Again, positive about retail, probably getting a higher retail price. Positive about auction, you're moving more product through your business quicker. And as far as profits, well, I think that you have a lot more control and you have a lot more opportunity to make a larger retail profit on items that you're selling in a retail environment. Fixed price type resale. In auctions, you tend to be more wholesale or high wholesale, low retail, but your sell-through is much, much quicker. Some of the auction platforms that we favor are, of course, our own auction platform that we've built from scratch, and you can do the same. I would advise the cost to do so is oftentimes tens of thousands of dollars. Option B is to use one of several larger platforms that will allow you to have your own auction site. Those would be similar to Auction Ninja is one. You can look that up online, www.auctionninja.com. Another one is MaxSold. You can use MaxSold, and you can do auctions with them. They tend to take a higher commission. I'm not necessarily fond of them. We used to use them, but they were taking too big of a slice of the pie. One other one that you can use that we've looked into, but we never really pursued was Hibid, H-I-B-I-D, Hibid. They have a platform that works with auctioneers or people selling online. There's a number of yard sale websites as well as estate sale websites that you can join and pay a subscription to that'll also allow you to advertise your sales. In our case, we use a combination of several different platforms. We do use our own platform called youbid2buy.com. And if you want to see how that is set up and how the bidding works with that, please check out the website. Our second choice is we've got 2 eBay stores. Most of our products that we put into our eBay stores, of course, are buy it now. We do a little bit with eBay auctions, but for the most part, we're putting estate goods into buy it now on eBay. We sell some of our larger items like, snowmobiles and antique cars, boats. Those are all sold primarily on Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, where we just put a buy it now price on it. And, I've got to say, local pickup Facebook Marketplace, one of the big drags about Facebook Marketplace is there's so much spam. There's so many tire kickers. If I had a quarter for every time somebody said they were going to come take a look at something and they didn't show, I'd be a rich man. But, Facebook Marketplace also works really good with furniture as well. I've had good luck with that. We just sold a bedroom set, and dining room sets are also something we might put up there. Or we might just put a dining room set into a local auction and just roll the dice and let it go. If you're getting into the online reselling business, don't even deal with furniture, really. Unless you're getting paid to take it, don't even deal with it. It's not worth trying to buy furniture to resell it. That's just my opinion. If you've got some good size, inexpensive retail space and you want to try doing a consignment store, that's a little different business model. And there's a lot of people that are very successful with that. We've tried it. We've found that consignment stores haven't really been a good business model for us. And that's only because it seems like for the amount of space that items were taking up, the sell-through just wasn't strong enough, just wasn't quick enough. When we converted over to an auction platform, we found that our merchandise was just moving just so much faster. Now, granted, we had less control over what the sale price was, because in an auction, it's the buyers that determine the price, not the sellers. If you're just getting started and this is a side gig for you, or perhaps you're coming in slightly underfunded, you don't want to get involved with renting big retail spaces, then you can simply start off with just maybe either a space in your basement or garage, or renting even a 10 by 10 at a local used storage facility. One nice thing about doing auctions is you move your product in. Once your storage unit is filled or your small warehouse is filled, you photograph it, you write descriptions, you upload them to an auction platform, you have your auction, it closes, it sells. You're able to set a certain pickup time for people to meet you so that you're not waiting, 40 hours a week for people to come by your shop and pick stuff up. You can set specific times for the pickup of their merchandise if they win in your auction, like running a 7-day auction closes on a Saturday, and having pickup on a Sunday. Some of the online auction platforms will capture the buyer's credit card information before they can even bid. If they win an item, the platform will actually charge their credit card, and they're contractually obligated to pay for that item. If for some reason they don't show up at the time you've posted, the pickup time, the specific pickup time, then contractually speaking, they've forfeited their item. You may get some argument there, or they could perhaps dispute that with their credit card company, but if you have the terms and conditions spelled out right, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to get paid, even if the item is forfeited. Now, does that mean that you want to go around grabbing everybody's stuff if for some reason there was a family emergency or they couldn't make your pickup time? Not necessarily. I mean, if you're trying to build a buyer base, aggravating your buyers by doing that probably isn't a good idea. But on the other hand, you have some buyers, especially repeat buyers, that tend to just be habitually late or habitually a problem. Well, those are buyers that you really don't want long-term anyways. They're just costing you money. So whether you're selling to a retail customer or whether you're selling in an auction format, your buyer base is really, really, really one of the key and biggest, most important things that you need to build and develop over time. It's also one of the things that's probably going to cost you the most amount of money because advertising is expensive and trying to get a new buyer isn't always the easiest thing. But the good news is if you once you get a buyer and you capture them, the chances of getting repeat business from them are pretty good. With our online auction business, You Bid to Buy, we have determined that based on the amount of money that we spend every single week to advertise and the amount of new bidders that register on our website every single week, we've determined that our average cost for acquisition is somewhere just under $80 per buyer. If you think, well, geez, that's expensive. Well, it is. But, then again, about 20% of our business generates 80% of our revenue. If you're at the casino, those buyers would be called whales. Well, in the auction business, it's a similar type of thought process. I've got buyers that come in and buy from us every single week. They drop 100, 200, 300, 400, some even more. Those are the type of buyers that you want to retain long term. Those are the type of buyers that I certainly don't mind spending the $80 in advertising money to obtain a new buyer of that caliber. On a different subject regarding warehouse space, retail space, in our auction, we have, the building is somewhere around 20,000 square feet. We're down here in a lower level of a shopping mall, so we're not paying a full retail price. If you averaged it out, it's probably somewhere around $3 to $4 per square foot annually. And this is my advice to you regarding your space, your warehouse space or your retail space. If the vast majority of your customers are coming to you from your internet advertising and you're more of a go-to operation for local pickup, or you're just a shipping facility, say you're doing eBay auctions or you're doing other type of auctions where your merchandise is being shipped out. Maybe you're doing eBay buy it now or eBay auctions, all your product is shipped, then you don't need a front store facade. You certainly don't need to pay a retail price for space. Just find yourself some good old warehouse space, mill space, that sort of thing. This rule doesn't apply if you're going to be doing like consignment with drive-by or retail traffic. But then again, that's not what this video is about. This video is about reselling product online. And because of that, what you really just need is a lot of just good, sturdy shelving to help save space. We make these ourselves out of 2x4s. They hold a ton of products. We can get probably 10, 20, 30 lots, unique items on a shelf like this. They're relatively inexpensive to build. I think we probably build them for about $100 a piece. We have a whole bunch of these banquet tables set up. We just buy them used off Facebook Marketplace. That gives us table space to work on. We buy retail racks to hang up our clothing if we're going to resell clothing. Furniture and our bigger pieces just go in rows on the floor. Here in this back room, we've got some tables set up for photography, some fluorescent lighting, white sheets. We use a ton of those for our backgrounds. Again, we've got a storage room like this one. You can see all these constructed shelving units for all of our inventory. Inventory coming in, used products, new products. Got one of these light boxes over here We've also got some lights on some stands with some diffusion. Online sales, it's all about doing numbers. It's all about volume. It's all about moving a lot of product. If you're doing online sales, then, don't be afraid to go find some warehouse space up on the 3rd floor of a mill building or a factory. For that matter, the only real heat you need is just in your listing office, the area where you're taking your photos and writing your descriptions. But all your warehouse inventory can all be kept in cold storage. There's no sense paying for heat in the winter or trying to cool it in the summertime. I don't know if I would put a whole warehouse full of vinyl records in a non-air conditioned space in Texas, but maybe if you have a heat sensitive type product, then maybe you move that into your office with you, but all your other inventory can all be kept out in the warehouse. Online selling can, without question, be profitable. Is it a get-rich business? Well, I like to think more of it as a labor of love. Just getting started in resale? Well, something to consider is just doing consignment. You don't even have to buy product. There's no reason to take hard-earned money out of pocket and gamble on what products are going to sell versus what products aren't going to sell. If you want to go out of business real fast, spend a ton of money on product without experience and without knowing just what's going to sell and how long it's going to sell. And you're going to run out of money real fast. You may have friends, family that have easy to describe, easy to ship items that they just don't have time to sell. Maybe you can test your idea of reselling online by taking their consignment and working on a percentage. What would that percentage be? Well, it's really up to you. When we take items on consignment, it usually typically ends up being somewhere around a 50-50% split between our company and them as consigners. And we also may charge them fees. We most certainly are going to charge them fees if we have to send a crew out with a truck to pick the stuff up. If the items come in that need cleaning or need repair, those are also services that you could charge for. But realistically, you're able to get your hands on a whole bunch of inventory that you don't have to put money up front. And if it doesn't sell, you can just give it back to them. If it's your own money spent for merchandise and you can't sell it, well, you can't give it back to yourself. That's why consignment is a really good avenue and really good place to start off. Sometimes your profit margins can't be as good as if you own the merchandise, but who cares? It's no money out of pocket. If you decide to use consigners for your online selling business, make sure you're upfront with them and let them know what the turnaround times are and explain to them that the online process is not an overnight type thing. If it's your friends or your family that's giving you items to consign, then you want to make sure that you're upfront with them, telling them how long it takes to sell and what the process is going to take in regards to the time you pick it up till the time they're paid. In our business, the turnaround time can be as little as 60 days. It can be as much as 90 or 120 days. And if my consigners are not willing to tolerate that type of turnaround time, it's probably not a good fit. Whether we're taking them and putting them into an eBay store, whether we're selling them on our online auction platform, or whether we're trying to sell stuff retail, it all takes time. It takes time to get it from where the product is at into the building. It takes time to get it unpacked. It gets time to get it lotted and tagged and photographed and advertised, and then it has to be uploaded to whatever platform that we're working on. That sale has to be advertised, the buyer's time to pick it up. So it can take a couple of months. One of the sure ways to lose a consignor is to not follow through with the terms and conditions of the agreement. My wife and I have been involved in the resale business here in Central Massachusetts for over 20 years. I would encourage you to please ask questions or leave comments down below. I'll take the time to reach out and talk with each and every one of you. You can stop by and visit us during store hours at our Central Massachusetts location here at the Park Hill Plaza, 551 Electric Ave in Fitchburg, Mass. If you have enjoyed the content that we provided, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also find us on Facebook under the Park Hill Auction Gallery and or Resellers Network. We'll talk with you again real soon.